Hey, it's Jess back with another Misfit Makers Besties tutorial, and this week we have a fun one. We were challenged to make this tumbler, and I cannot wait to tell you all about it. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. We upload every Wednesday and Friday. Also, check out our Facebook group, Misfit Makers, and if you want to take your business a little further, check out our mentorship group, Misfit Makers Besties. Okay, so today I'm starting out with my Sculpey clay that you can find at your Hobby Lobby, local Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, Amazon, and I will be using a 24-ounce plump from the Steel Magnolia. When you're working with clay, anytime you're working with clay, you want to condition your clay really well starting out because the clay comes very hard and you want to get it soft so you can manipulate it. So as you saw in the beginning, we are making like a bikini sexy, I'm just gonna call her Nudie Nikki because that's where we got this design from. So here you see me sculpting the tatas, and ladies, I'm not gonna lie, doing this was struggling. I'm not gonna admit how many times I kind of felt okay, moving on. So you see we're making like two little balls, and we want to make them as close as we possibly can in size, so they are very similar in size and shape. While doing that, I'm going to explain to you how this challenge got started. So back last year, Nikki from the Steel Magnolia made us these gorgeous bikini tumblers using clay and glitter, and she rhinestoned the bikinis on them, and she made them for all of us. There were 6 of us going to Mexico, and they were the cutest things ever. So we had a lot of people interested. They were like, oh my gosh, can you show us how to do them? We talked to Nikki, and she was like, absolutely. Fast forward, there's a challenge. Last week there was a challenge. All the Tumblercon instructors were challenged to make a tumbler using 3 items. Dirt, yes, dirt from the backyard, pom-poms, and googly eyes. So this is what we're teaching next week in our mentorship group. Don't worry, I will not be using those 3 items. But I was like, why not incorporate next week's design with this challenge? And this is what I came up with. And honestly, I'm not mad. It was a little challenging, especially with the dirt, but I'm not mad about how she turned out. So after you're done sculpting the tatas, you're going to do the same thing in the back and sculpt the booty. We're going to bake our clay at 275 for 15 minutes and let her cool down, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. And as you saw there, I was getting my dirt ready because, I mean, it would be easier to go to the store and buy some potting soil, but I was like, no, let me just grab some dirt from my backyard. What you see me doing here is I'm using a little UV resin, and I'm just putting it right around my booty because I had some crackage when I baked it in the oven. Not much, but just a little bit. So just use a little UV resin and stick it underneath your light. Cure it really well before moving on to the next step. After that's completely cured, I'm going to go in with my blush color, Pop of Color from CCDIY, and we are going to paint the entire tumbler and give her a nice good base coat. If you're ready to move on to the next step right away, just use your heat gun to dry that paint. Make sure your paint is really dry before using any kind of adhesive on top. Today I'm going to be using UV resin as my adhesive. Here I am mixing in a little bit of mica powder and some Goddess from Peachy Olive. Goddess is one of my favorite golds. It's very similar to Athena, only it's a finer cut. And we're just going to mix in just a little bit to this dirt so it doesn't look so dirty. So when using UV resin, just do a nice thin amount. It's very similar to the epoxy method. If you're not in a hurry, I only had 48 hours to make this tumbler, so a lot of steps you see me doing here is because I'm on a time limit. So if you're not in a hurry, just grab your epoxy, save the UV resin, and just do a very small amount of epoxy. Okay, here I am adding this dirt. Guys, I had dirt everywhere. All over my table, my lap, my hands. I was adding the dirt to the UV resin and it was like getting darker and becoming like mud. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but there's no going back now. We have to follow through. So it was a trust the process method for sure. But I did get the idea of, hey, she's kind of dirty. Dirty girls have more fun. So I just kind of went with it, and you guys will see how she turned out at the end. So after we got our dirt covered our entire tumbler, I went ahead and cured it underneath our UV lamp. And then here I am going in with my first coat of UV resin over the entire tumbler. Now, again, if you're not in a hurry, save your UV resin because it's not very cost efficient to do 3 or 4 coats of UV resin. Just grab your fast set or your regular epoxy and do it that way. Guys, this tumbler was just a challenge. So again, this is more for fun. This isn't really a learning tutorial here. So just bear with it, okay? Okay, I ended up doing a total of 3 coats of UV resin, sanding in between each coat. So here, this was after, look at the little tushy, look at the little tushy. This was after the second coat of UV resin, and she was almost completely smooth, but I went ahead and sanded it down one more time to do that third coat of UV resin. So my pom-poms and my googly eyes I found at my local Dollar Tree. Guys, the Dollar Tree is really stepping up their game lately, so check your local Dollar Tree and see all the goodies you can find, because I was really surprised the last time I went in there. So for my googly eyes, that was the only thing I was unsure about. So with this challenge, the tumbler was supposed to be 25% googly eyes, 25% the pom-poms, and 25% dirt. And the last 25% could be other products. So I had to cut like 100 googly eyes apart here. Say hi, Jen. Hi, Jen. She was calling and interrupting me as I was sitting here cutting out 100 googly eyes. And I even warned her. I told her, I'm going to add you to my YouTube video. So say hi, hi. But anyway, you see my cup behind me curing. I cut apart 100 googly eyes just to make sure I got the 25% googly eyes. But it was the only way I could figure out how to add the googly eyes and not make the cup like look crazy. So I'm putting a little bit of UV resin on the bottom of my cup, and we are just going to fill the entire bottom with the little eye inserts. My Dollar Tree did not just have black googly eyes, they only had the color ones, so that's what I went with. After I got the entire bottom covered, I went ahead and stuck it underneath my UV light to cure, and then did a coat of UV resin on top of it to make sure that it was cured completely. I think it turned out not bad. Like, to think outside the box, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do, and hey, not bad. Okay, so here I decided to, like I said, run with the dirty girls have more fun. So I just found some little mud splatters on Google and cut them out with my Silhouette brown 651 vinyl and just placed them all over my cup. I also went in and used my acrylic marker, and on the back of my tumbler I wrote, "Dirty girls have more fun." This is an Arteza marker. You can find them on Amazon. They come in like a pack of 40, and they can be like a little pricey. I want to say it was like $30 for the pack, but I use my markers all the time. If you don't have the option to get the Arteza markers, there's a variety of different things you could use, including just like a Sharpie, Posca markers. CCDIY has some options, some oil-based pens. So whatever you have, make it work. You also don't have to handwrite this. I could have just printed something out, cut something out with my Silhouette and used vinyl. But I was cutting it close, guys. I was down to the wire. I think it was like 11 o'clock at night at this point, and entries were due at midnight. So I was like, let me just scribble this on here real quick. Again, this tumbler was just for fun. So my pom-poms, I had to cut them all off. So this is what I'm doing here. And then I saved the little string part for like the bikini top and the swimsuit bottom. Okay, so here I'm taking my Sharpie and I'm kind of just outlining where I want her bikini top to be, kind of just as a guide. Don't really worry about the lines because those will be covered up with our pom-pom balls, but that way I wasn't just winging it and I knew exactly where to place my pom-pom balls. Next, I'm gonna go in with my hot glue gun and we are going to start applying those pom-pom balls. Guys, this, again, I was down to the wire. This probably took me a good 30 minutes to do, and hot glue dries really fast, so I could only do like 1 or 2 balls at a time, but I was going as fast as I possibly could. So here I am. I'm just going to fill her entire bikini top. This is when she starts to come together. I was like, okay, not bad, Jessica, not bad. And then, like I said, the little strings that those pom-pom balls came on, I used those for my bikini top, and then like the little string bikini bottom, which I thought was perfect. It ended up being really, really cute. Now, I did not epoxy over my pom-pom balls. I'm not sure how epoxy would hold up over pom-pom balls. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but again, this tutorial was just for fun. Now, if I were to sell this cup, then you definitely need to epoxy or put some kind of resin over those pom-pom balls, because if they get wet, obviously they're just on there with hot glue. They're not going to hold up for your customer. But this was really fun. I had a lot of fun making this. It definitely challenged me. Challenges are good, even if they are crazy, like this one was, using, dirt and pom-poms and googly eyes. It makes you stop and think outside the box and just have fun. And that's what crafting is about sometimes. Sometimes we get carried away and we're so busy with, deadlines and tutorials and recording everything. And sometimes you just need to step back and be like, let's just do this for fun, because that's what crafting's about. I know my kids, every time they came downstairs, they chuckled and they were like, what the heck, Mom? What are you making? But thank you, Jen and Nikki and Crystal and everybody that is putting together this amazing Tumblercon event. You guys, tickets are still for sale. There's still some available. Jerry and I are teaching the one-day class on Friday and Saturday, so I will link where you can purchase tickets down below. We had so much fun last year in our one-day class. Get ready to party and have fun and play games and do giveaways. And again, that's what crafting is all about. Plus, you get an awesome swag bag, guys. Like, hello, just saying. All right, well, I hope this, I'm not even going to say tutorial, because again, this is not a tutorial. This was just for fun, but I hope you guys enjoyed this funny, fun, entertaining video, and I will catch you guys next week with an actual tutorial. In the meantime, make sure you hit that subscribe button, come check out our groups, and check out the links down below. Like I said, come hang out with us in Texas, Plano, Texas, at Tumblercon for the amazing event. Voila! Bye, guys!